Good morning to you all gathered here. And good morning to anyone who's joining from streaming as well. We have an opportunity this morning we've made the opportunity, I could say, we all have, by setting aside whatever else we were doing, making a space to come together and practice calm abiding, to support each other in that process. And for those who are new here, my name is Bill Spangle. This is Dora DeCourcy here. We're associate teachers, and special welcome to you folks who are new or we haven't met yet. We will be sitting for about 48 minutes from now, including some comments and a little bit of guided meditation, and then a break, and then our discussion afterwards. So that's, for those who don't know, that's the general flow of the morning. And in case 47 minutes seems like a long time, we will take a few stretch breaks announced like that. And this is a time where you can just let go of the practice, but one of the key instructions for this is whenever you hear that, to check exactly where is your mind, where is your attention. It's probably better to say that beforehand so you can actually associate that sound with check, as opposed to listening to me drone on, in which case you say, well, my mind is just listening to you talk at the moment. So we'll begin with refuge, and there are, if we're actually paying attention, a couple of kind of shocking things in there. One is that it says, until the summit of enlightenment is reached, I go for refuge. Not only I, but all beings. This frame of reference should actually allow us to expand our mind a bit as we begin our practice. We begin the practice with this reminder, because it's easy for us to be lost in kind of our small agenda of what we're up to, and not connect our practice and our whatever energy we put into cultivating a spiritual outlook or engaging in positive activities. I have to remember that there is a possibility for complete liberation from dissatisfaction, complete liberation from confusion. And this is something that is, you could say, an intrinsic possibility in our makeup. It's an intrinsic possibility in the makeup of all beings. Just the mere fact of being an aware being is the basis for this. So when we're cultivating what we could say is you can say it's a kind of simple practice of calm abiding. It can be helpful to have an appreciation for this being a door to something very deep. But it's something that's very deep, that is accessed directly through the immediate experience of our lives, the immediate experience of what arises in our stream of experience. So calm abiding can allow us to attend to our experience in a very fresh way. And if we have some sense of the deep opportunity, the vividness of our attention may be roused a bit. Our direct curiosity about our experience may be roused a bit. And we might also be encouraged to let go of judging our meditation experiences by kind of the score of how many times we were distracted. When it says all beings, I and all beings go for refuge, this is a reflection of the profound, universal, common experience of beings to seek some kind of well-being, to be free of discontent, suffering. So again, this can open our minds, open our hearts a bit. Can open our hearts just to reflect on how intimately we are actually connected with all beings. How much we depend on all beings. Our very life is the reflection this most intimate connection. So, setting aside our ordinary pursuits and turning our attention to cultivating calm abiding, that we might enter the door of the possibility of enlightenment, the possibility of deeper insight into our own experience. So we'll begin with the recitation of refuge.
Until the summit of enlightenment is reached, I and all beings go for refuge to the sources of true refuge. I will now practice the absorption of calm abiding in order to release all beings from their particular suffering, establish them in lasting peace and happiness. Until the summit of enlightenment is reached, I and all beings go for refuge to the sources of true refuge. I will now practice the absorption of calm abiding in order to release all beings from their particular suffering and establish them in lasting peace and happiness. Until the summit of enlightenment is reached, I and all beings go for refuge to the sources of true refuge. I will now practice the absorption of calm abiding in order to release all beings from their particular suffering and establish them in lasting peace and happiness.
Our ordinary relationship with what arises in our stream of experience is to fit it into our personal story. You could say to fit it into the autobiography that we're continually writing. But the unfolding of each moment of experience is actually an opportunity to look deeply into the nature of what's arising, into the nature of the awareness. To take advantage of this opportunity, it's very important to cultivate the ability to meet this experience very directly. To meet it without preconceptions, to meet it without interpreting it, labeling it. Affirming some of it as important, disregarding other aspects of it. If we have developed some stability in our meditation, it's possible just to let the mind rest. simply being aware of what arises, and aware of our awareness itself. To simplify this, if we're not familiar, can find the aspect of our experience that is the experience of the breath coming and going, the simple tactile sensation. Allowing the attention to vividly meet this experience. Gives us an anchor. The habit of the mind to grasp after experiences and memories. At some point, that habit will take over. And when it does, whenever we recognize that, simply return again. Finding the flow of experiences, the breath coming and going. go of all the effort. Stretch as you need. You may have found certain ways that you are sitting that either reflected some tension or brought that about, so you can let that go.
virtue may I quickly realize Mahamudra and establish all beings without exception in this state.
Thank you all. Let's see, what do we have that's coming up immediately that people need to be reminded of? Yeah. Quick reminder, you're all going to die. The time of death is uncertain, but hopefully it won't happen before this Saturday. Is it this Saturday? Yes, this Saturday, where Julie Herlacher will be facilitating our ongoing exploration of death and dying and how we relate to it and practices connected to it and all other things. Do you have anything you want to, any little bit you'd want to share on that?
There will be coming an email early this week with a little bit more information, agenda, what we'll be doing. It's 3 to 5 Saturday. Anybody and everybody, please come.
Yeah, you're all qualified. And I'll just mention that there's a kind of a nice coincidence during the Mahamudra seminar in India this year. Khenpo Lodra Donya Rinpoche requested that all the international sangha to take more look deeper into this and to look into practices that could be done in relationship to death and dying. And so I find a very wonderful, auspicious coincidence, and that we're kicking off another round of this exploration right now. And for those who don't know about or need a reminder about the mind training group, which is on the Thursday, the second and fourth Thursday evenings here at 7. There's ongoing discussion of that. It's a good opportunity. Tim Campbell will be facilitating on his own while Zopa is absent. She's off at being exceptionally quiet at Sarvasti Abbey for a month. So. And
young adult group will meet in 2 Fridays, so not this Friday, but the next Friday on March 2nd. So if you are identifying as young adult or 40-ish and under, please feel free to come on by. We meet here from 7 to 9, and it's a good opportunity to chat and have peer support around your practice. So if you have questions, please come talk to me.
Okay, and Willa.
Just wanted to let you know of the coming week's volunteer opportunities. Jeff could use some help tomorrow with 2 different tasks, some woodwork prep so that somebody can paint it, sanding and caulking. And he also would appreciate help moving some boxes around so the electrician can come and hang a few fixtures. And anyone who'd like to join me on Friday for the weekly cleaning of our center, just let me know. So come and see me about all of those things if you'd like. Thanks.
You can even see her about other things too. If those don't fit in your time frame, but you do have some time and energy, then please talk to Willa. We can all arrive here and think, oh, it just sort of, this just kind of grew up like a mushroom. But in particular, there's a lot at the annual meeting last weekend. At the end, we had a screen of all the names of all the people that had done any work on bringing this building back to life, and all the people that had contributed to that. And it was a very long list. And it's actually the vitality of this place is very much connected to the energy that's been put in. And so I encourage everybody to think of part of their practice as being a contributor to this energy, to being a part of the creative effort. There are many dimensions to that. Some of this have time, more time than money. Others have time and money. Some have more just time. Some have just good wishes, no time or money to spare, but please keep us in your heart and keep the energy of the Sangha in your heart. So, thank you. And Salidra, do you want to introduce some people?
Yes, we have a new person here today. Her name is Abigail.
Over here.
There she is.
Hello.
You're she's a lovely person here for the first time. And also, I have tried to organize the name tags a little bit more, as you might notice, and I want to say how much I appreciate all of you for coming in and getting your name tags and wearing them in order for us to create a closer sense of community, especially to people who are new here. So thank you.
So now it's time for some tea, and we'll be back shortly and take the opportunity to connect with each other, and a special invitation, anybody who's new here or newish, or actually just anybody who wants to come up and introduce themselves and say hello to either Dora or myself, you're very welcome to do that. We would appreciate getting to know you.